We have 4 simple rules. Number 1, we don't discuss politics, ever. Number 2, this is not a religious channel, and while you might hear people say, God bless you, or I'm going to pray for you, or I wouldn't have gotten through this without my faith, that's fine. What's not fine is to say, my God is better than your God, or here's why you're not getting into heaven. It's not going to fly. Number 3, we believe wholeheartedly if you can't control your tongue, then you can't control your life. So while on board, there's not going to be any cursing in the live chat, period. And number 4, there is no room for mean people on the lifeboat. Because we discuss very sensitive things from people's past in our group setting, we got to protect those people. The only way they feel confident and comfortable discussing those things is in an environment that is free of trolls and mean people. So if you're a mean person or you're a troll, we're going to block you for life. And if your account happens to be less than 24 hours old, we're probably a little suspicious right from the word go. Why? Well, because there are people in this world who enjoy being cruel solely for the sake of being cruel. It's not going to fly here. But if you're here because you're trying to get sober and live your best life, then you might find that the lifeboat is just that, a lifeboat. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and we will see you on deck. Hey, everybody, I am Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. People, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't sleep very well last night. I don't know if I mentioned that on the last live feed, but last night was one of those nights. As I have said many times on the lifeboat show, I suffer from insomnia, and I get it in bouts. I'm fortunate, I guess, that it's not an every night thing. You know, there are people that are plagued by this that literally don't ever sleep, or they basically stay awake until they collapse, and that's normally not how I get it. I get it in chunks. Like there'll be a 3 to 4 day period of time where I'm plagued, worst case scenario, maybe a week. And then sort of gets back to some semblance of normal where, I might be able to, to get 3 or 4 hours or 5 hours, in a night. But last night was one of those, man. Like I don't think I closed my eyes, period. There wasn't, any point that in the evening which I got sleep, which is a little bit unfortunate. But some of that too, I think, is dealing with a little bit of the stress of the whole travel thing. When you're on federal probation, traveling is it is an honor, right? And it is a privilege. It is not a right. So there is a long list of things that you have to do right in order to be able to travel. On that list are the painfully obvious ones, like you can't fail drug tests, you have to be paid up on all your bills, you can't have missed any counseling sessions and things of that nature. But then on top of that, there is this process by which you put in all of the information of where it is you intend to go. And in theory, and I say in theory because truthfully, whenever the federal government tells you anything, especially in relation to the Department of Justice, the Department of Justice is who handles the federal prison system and anything that happens after you leave the federal prison system. So technically, the term is you're still on paper, so you're kind of still a inmate for years after you leave. It's just you're sort of you get slightly more privileges, but you're still basically in debt to Uncle Sam for a little while. But during that process, you you have to fill out all of these papers, and in theory, wherever I'm going, then contacts the Department of Justice and says, "Oh yeah, we're cool with having him in our, in our city or our town or our province or whatever." So all of that has been, in the process for months. And I think I told you people this maybe a week or two ago. As I got closer to the day where we were going to be leaving, with the tickets already purchased and all of that, that sort of did the stress thing, got to me after a while. And I think once I got the approval, there was this, this sort of rush of relief that lasted for days. And now I'm into the actual nuts and bolts of it, packing things up, trying to get everything ready, which is never fun in the first place. However, when you're trying to pack up a YouTube channel and bring it with you, it it creates a type of um, whole new type of challenge. But while we're on that subject, I'm going to be leaving people, so I will not be broadcasting from the crew boat, right? The captain's quarters, and we'll be on the uh, eastern seaboard. Should be broadcasting hopefully with the ocean right behind me. It's a pretty nice location, so you should actually see some non-computer generated ocean stuff crashing in the backdrop. As far as the travel itself goes, tomorrow I'm going to be leaving, and I'm leaving early, right? Or I guess I should say I'm leaving really late tonight or really early in the morning, depending on how you look at it. But I am going to do everything within my power to give a little bit of a live broadcast from the airport. It's always fun when you travel. Sort of a Scoville tradition, I think, at this point. My brother Johnny has been doing this now for years. Anytime he's on the road, there's usually at least one sneaky live stream that he tries to get in from the airport. Apparently, this is something that frosts the people at the airport in a pretty big way. Not exactly sure why, but these days they are not a big fan of having people doing any kind of broadcasting from the airport. I guess there's probably some logical explanations having to do with casing the joint kind of a thing. Probably makes them get a little jumpy, but we're going to give that a try. As for the scheduling for the week, it's not going to change much. There may be some slight interruptions, but for the most part, there's going to be a video in the morning. There's going to be a video at a live feed at 6 o'clock at night. How that gets divided up between me and my bobbleheaded brother, we have not exactly ironed out all the details of that, but suffice to say, the safe harbor here at the lifeboat as a place for you to come and sort of unload whatever's going on in your life. That is not something that is going to change. Thank you, Miss Hart. I really appreciate that. Part of me is really looking forward to this journey. The other part is stressing out badly about it. But either way, tomorrow at this time, I shall be on the other part of the country, and we will be going from there. So, people, in the last live feed, if you missed it, I was talking about some of the people that have been making some really big strides. We mentioned a few of them. I wanted to, in case you were not on that last live feed, I definitely wanted to touch on our guy Brandon, because number one, I couldn't be any more proud of Brandon. I literally couldn't be. We all know Brandon's story because he's been very, very open with us, which is awesome, right? That's the dream of the boat. But Brandon has been super open about his journey. And if you remember, there were a couple of stumbles, and it usually happens right around weekend times, which is pretty logical if you think about it, right? Especially for somebody who's in the prime of their life. It tends to be the weekends tend to really be something big, right? It's a festival when you're younger, and he had been very open about the two stumbles. Dusted himself off immediately, got right back on his feet, and right back on the bandwagon, so to speak. And the last time that he had a stumble, he reached out to me, and the two of us sort of went back and forth, talking to one another, asking each other questions, and answering questions for each other, and things of that nature. And I think what happened is a great example of somebody learning from the prior mistakes. And when I woke up this morning and went to the comment section, there was a comment on our most recent video, the one that we had put up this morning, from Brandon that said, "Hey, you know what? Last night I had an opportunity to drink and went with water. And you know something, people? I still get buzzes, right? I certainly don't get them the way that I used to, but make no mistake about it. There are things on this planet that still give me a buzz, that still give me a no lie sort of a rush that you get from the feel good chemicals of the brain getting released. And most assuredly, this was one of those occasions. So, Brandon, I believe I might have already packed up the trophy. You got to have that on the road just in case somebody does something phenomenal. But I do want to tell you that we are super proud of you here at the Lifeboat. This is such a great example of, what it means to continually move forward, and why people that we don't judge. It's why we don't come down on people who stub their toe and stumble a bit. The the nature of the rest of the world being what it is, they can take care of that. Here at the Lifeboat, we're not going to bust the chops of people who stumble. We're not going to bust the chops of people who use drugs, right? Our mission here is to provide a safe place for people who want to get sober to do so and to help out others. And we're not going to do anything here that is going to make that a more difficult process for anybody that's trying to fight the good fight. And the proof is in the pudding, people. If we had been like society and jumped all over Brandon for stupid reasons, because that would have been a stupid reason, he was continuing to move forward. And more impressively than that, he was just so honest. He came here and integrity, right? Doing the right thing when no one can see. I mean, that's integrity. And, this young man showed a boatload of it twice. I hate to hammer this point home, but the truth of the matter is, because we are a virtual vessel, it would have been quite easy for Brandon to just coast right through that and say, no, here I am, still sober, great weekend. But in both times, he came here and, proved that he was a new creation, and that new creation wasn't going to be like the old one. He was going to be honest and accountable to the people that cared for him and the people he cared for. And the proof is in the pudding. He's doing awesome. And we're so proud of you, Brandon. Just saw a name in the on the deck of the boat that I have not seen before. I believe I just saw a name that said nearly homeless, almost homeless, nearly homeless. Welcome aboard, my friend. Don't believe I've seen you before. We'd like to welcome you on board the Lifeboat. If by some chance I have said that in the past, well, I've done some brain damage over the years. My memory is not quite what it used to be. But if we have welcomed you, well, then we will welcome you again. If not, welcome aboard. Make yourself at home. Get to know some of the people on board, and I think you're going to find this is a very unusual place. Kyle Clark. Did I just see Kyle Clark's name as well? Badger Life. Good to have you back. Very, very happy to have you back. Pretty good turnout, too. Stacy Michael says too many zeros there for me to take a guess, but something percentage for sure. Yeah, Kyle Clark, really good to see you, my brother. So, as I was saying, we're awfully proud of Brandon. We also want to do a shout out to Miss V, to Jamie, to Amy, and to Flaming Jackson, who are all continuing to celebrate new and improving sobriety dates as each day they're adding to that. Good night, everyone. Going to watch a Christmas movie with my family. Brandon, enjoy. Proud of you. Way to get through this weekend. That is, that's top shelf. We couldn't be any happier, Brandon. To keep fighting the good fight. Nearly Homeless says, I'm new and I praise the positivity, as sometimes it's easier to feed into the negativity. Bro, is that not the truth? And you know what? From time to time, it tries to rear its ugly head. But one of the goals that we had here was to build a place where people could come and avoid that. If you really want to fight the good fight, you want to get sober and not just quit using chemicals, but actually, build a new existence, one that is happy and chemical free. Usually there's some work that has to be done. And that kind of work means opening up and talking about things from your past that sometimes aren't, all that pleasant to share. And the only way that works, and it is working, is to have an environment where you don't have to worry about jackwagons saying stupid things while people are trying to get the best that they can do, sort of in the process of sharing. And the last couple of videos that we did here were all about what it means to unload, what it means to dump stuff off of your chest. And on the one this morning, if you missed it, you might want to catch it, because there's some pretty fascinating stuff in that. A study that was done that really backs up the science behind unloading, the science behind opening up and sharing. And I don't just mean from a psychological standpoint. Obviously, when you bottle things up, it creates a pressure cooker. Everybody knows somebody that, sort of swallows all of that, the aggression and the anger and all of the things in their life, as opposed to getting it out. They just continue to internalize and bring it in and internalize. and it eventually it explodes. And when that happens, it's never a good thing. That explosion of emotion is never something that that has a pleasant outcome. So it's usually pretty obvious that the more you share, the safer you're going to be from a psychological standpoint. But there's a lot of evidence that says that when we start bottling stuff like that up, we can do real damage to our physical bodies. From weight gain and stress and depression and all of the things that that go on psychologically to really hammering on the body. And so yeah, we're big on sharing. It's one of the backbones of everything that we do here, and there's been a an awful lot of that that's been going on. What do you say, Mark? About the last week or so, it is when people really have started to open up. Sarah normally says, "I decided the bullies will not control me anymore. I am who I am. No fear." Wow, that's pretty cool, Sarah. That is really, really cool. And hold on one second. I wish my acid reflux would go away. Weeks of it. Cemetery. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's tough. It's I suffered with acid reflux. It's been years now, but it is a super unpleasant condition. Sort of people, if you've never worked through that, it climbs up the back of the throat. It's really, really an awful thing. We'll keep in our thoughts and prayers. And I'm sorry to hear that, Cemetery. I really am. Cindy Lamb, good to see you back here. Mark, I don't know that you caught it on the last live feed. Cindy is on day 2 without alcohol, and said in the last live feed that she's killing it. No stress, no anxiety. Yeah, really good stuff. Made all of us pretty happy about it. So
that's cool, Cindy. Congratulations. Proud of you.
Yep. Yeah, that's as good. That honestly is as good as it gets. I'm pretty happy about that.
Hey, on the acid reflux thing there, guys, don't forget that you can go to the chiropractor that can sometimes fix that. Just so you know. I know it sounds weird, but you can go. There's stuff that they do that I've seen so many people get help that way. But anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I did not know that. See, you learn something new every day. And Seventh Son says, Cemetery, a shot of apple cider vinegar. Do you have a feeling that Seventh Son drinks quite a bit of apple vinegar? I have. Look, you know something? Here's the deal on that. There is so much research that says that apple cider vinegar is awesome for you. Like there is, and they talk about it treating everything. You know what I mean? There are so many things in the body that it is supposed to help with. However, it's wicked unpleasant. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of fun to drink, and for me, the smell really becomes an issue. It reminds me of all kinds of bad things. Cindy Lamb says, "Thank you. I'm figuring tomorrow will be yuck, but hoping not. I plan to exercise and be busy." Tell you what you need to do is plan all the way around that tomorrow is going to be awesome. Honestly, the self-talk, and not to bust your chops, but there's really a lot that sort of points to once you start talking that way, it's really easy to sort of talk yourself into it. So the end of that sentence was awesome. I really like the idea of you doing a little working out tomorrow, getting up and sort of attacking your day and reaching out to the people on the boat if you start feeling a little bit shaky, which I believe you did this morning. And look, good things happened. Grant Harper, good to see you. Grant, I assume that things worked out with the doc and that you're getting all that taken care of. I think I shared that with you, Mark. He was in the process of getting a new doctor. The one that he had sort of was gone instantly and kind of left him high and dry on the benzo thing. So
yeah,
it's a pinch scary.
That is a very prominent problem.
Yeah, it happens a lot. It really does.
So
Rick,
go ahead.
Rick Sanchez is my spirit animal. Don't believe I know I've seen him on Wages World. I don't think I've seen him on the deck of the boat before, but says he is 4 years clean from opiates.
Wow.
Awesome, man. That is so cool, Rick. That is, could not be any happier with that.
That's so cool. It really is.
Yeah. I'm at about 6.5, and I believe Mark is closing in on 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the both of us had as our prior drugs of choice. We were addicted to opiates. You probably heard Mark's story because you've been on Wages World a lot. But for me, it was I started out with pain meds and ended up with heroin, primarily tar heroin, and really got out of control on that. Cemetery 76, 66 days. That
So
is
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. It is
Cemetery,
awesome.
you know what? Some of that acid reflux, brothers. You hear that a lot with people that drink, that quit drinking. And I don't know what what exactly you were drinking, but people who were, drinking hard liquor as opposed to people that were beer drinkers, you hear that a lot. People that talk about their stomach takes a while to get back to to functioning properly. And ulcers or acid reflux or any number of sort of irritable gut, phenomenon that takes place. So kind of makes a little bit more sense. But hang in there, man. 66 days is awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it is.
That is officially into the third month. That is as good as it
those
gets.
Those are big hurdles too, guys. Early recovery, those first 3-4 months is key. It really is.
Nearly Homeless says, I'm sipping a beer right now, but I went 12 days a few weeks back. Have to leave the house at 6 a.m. So I figured I'd just chill until I'm pretty uncomfortable. Pretty unfortunate, but at least I have work. Hey, you know what? Like we said here, you're never going to hear anybody, bust your chops for having a beer in your hands. It sounds that like you're at least on the path, and that's awesome. And like we like to say, you know what? You just keep coming back. If you decide that this is going to be a journey that you want to take, we're going to be here every step of the way to support you and try to do everything within our power to just make you feel welcome. And if you continue to drink, we're just going to support you and do everything within our power to try to make you feel welcome. That's kind of how we do what we do. Grant Harper says, Tommy, you're awesome. Much love. Still trying to wait to get booked into another doc's office. Oh, my goodness. I took them as only needed basis, so I have some to last me 2 weeks. Man, I'm glad that you have something to last you. I'm glad that you're tapering off. Man, get on that tomorrow. Do not wait until the end of that 2 weeks, Grant. You've got a window there, sort of a little breathing room, a buffer, but I would jump on that right now and try to get into a doctor's office as fast as possible before you wind up at the end of that 2 weeks, in a dead panic trying to get a doctor's appointment within a few minutes, because that's always frightening.
Hey, Grant.
And go ahead.
If you want, email me, or I'm sure Tommy's heading out, so it's probably best to email me right now. I can help you find a place wherever you're at. It's not, we can call some numbers. Believe it or not, if you got a local hospital, they typically have a list of doctors that will take patients like that. So just kind of keep that in mind. They will actually actively help you find somebody. They did for me. I know that. But anyway, just want to put that out there.
Yeah, no question. That's good. And what did I just see here? I missed one that I really liked. Let's see. I'm liable to block somebody if I try to do this. I think. Well, it was somebody that was cheering on the 66 days, I believe. And I'll tell you something. I'm glad that you did. 66 days is awesome. Cemetery, keep it up, my brother. Really, really proud of you. Grant Harper says 100%, Tommy. Good, Grant. And like Mark said, if you're running into any problems, just reach out to him. Cemetery says sometimes my head feels like Swiss cheese. I don't doubt that for a second, brother. It's we've said so many times, that first like 30 days all the way up to 90, even 120 days. That's the crucible. That is the most difficult time of it's the most difficult time of anybody's sobriety across the board. That's really when it gets tough. Although people, and this is something that I definitely wanted to touch on. All right. Was I down there too long? This is something I definitely wanted to touch on because, believe it or not, it's come up 3 times in the last 2 days. So I've had people reach out to me three times in the last couple of days. Um, People who everything is going perfect, right? One of the emails I got actually started with that sentence: everything in my life is going perfect. And then this individual went on to list exactly what that meant, and relationship wise, finances, sobriety, absolutely every box you could tick in terms of successful was checked. So everything is right where you want it to be, like the snapshot of a perfect recovery. And then the next sentence out of this person's mouth was, "And I'm so scared, I'm ready to take my life." And the others were similar. And we talked about this, people. There is the fear of the unknown, right? Jumping into the river of the new, the river of the unknown. Your brain becomes so accustomed to living in such a way that it would rather screw you up, so that at least it's dealing with an emotion, a feeling, a reaction that is uniform, right? Because that success is brand new. And for a lot of us, you go 3 decades with doing dope, and all of a sudden you're sober. And I wrestled with this at the beginning of the channel. Like, it was something that really, really messed me up. And I spent a lot of time talking to my brother Johnny. I spent a lot of time talking to a couple of counselors, because every day there were people going, "Hey, this is awesome. You're doing a great job. I love what you're doing." And there was just all of these people that were behind an idea that I'd been picked on for a long time. And it was a lot easier when I was being picked on for it. I mean, in all honesty, when something is a dream or you're talking about it and it's not actually happening, when you dream something, it's pretty safe. But when you jump out there and you start to actually feel some level of success, it was so foreign to my brain. It was so foreign to my psyche that it was hell. There's no other way to put it. It was hell. It was a daily thing. If you've been with the channel since the Tommy Scoville days, right, when I called it the Tommy Scoville Show, you probably remember me doing a show called "I'm Really Lucky," or "I'm the Luckiest Guy Alive," or "Call Me Lucky," or something along those lines. And I came out and I said, "Listen, if you want to say something nice, you got to preface it by telling me I'm lucky." And I think people thought it was, me joking around in the beginning, but what was really happening was I was getting really, really overwhelmed and feeling really uncomfortable with all of the adulation. And it was because it was attached to success. And it was just, for a lot of people, if you find yourself and we're in a position where everything is going great, and all of a sudden you start getting that negative automatic talk, right? That automatic negative talk, those ants, and that starts like creeping into your psyche. It's when you got to pump the brakes and step back and say, "This isn't logical," right? Why in the name of God would all of this be coming up when everything is good? It's one of those situations where you have to detach yourself from the situation enough to look at it, through the analytical lens. Because as crazy as it sounds, when you start, feeling like, "Oh man, I have to kill myself. Everything is going great, but I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop. It's just a matter of time before all this blows up in my face. You know what I mean? I'm a failure." And that's just a chemical in the brain doing something it's not supposed to do, right? There's literally nothing backing up that negative talk. It's just a chemical inside the brain that's doing something it's not supposed to, and you can make it stop. Do not allow the fear of success to hold you back. And the crazy thing is, if I communicated with these people and I talked about it, and when I said, this could be fear of success, every one of them was like, "Nah, that's crazy." Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. I'm not afraid of success. I'm happy as hell with the success. I'm like, "No, you're not. You're emailing me to tell me that you're unhappy as hell, with all of this success." And it is a phenomenon that happens to all of us. I promise you, everybody in recovery at some point gets to that place where everything feels so good that you start to get this feeling of impending doom. Because every time things have ever been going well in the past, what happened? We figured out a way to short circuit ourselves, and you almost feel it like it's chasing you down, like it's become almost a living entity. Failure is one of those things that's out there and it's hunting you down, and it's just a matter of time. If you start getting that automatic negative talk, the best way to get that out of your life is to tell people about it. Honestly, one of the emails I got was so funny. This person wrote out the whole thing, and it was very similar to the one I just told you, different details, but romance, finance, everything was going good. But he said, I'm just waiting because I know this is going to blow up. And before the end of it, before the end of the email, he had completely cured himself. Like, I kid you not. It started out just as panicky as you could be, and life is horrible, and he knows this is going to go bad. And by the end, he's going, "Boy, I feel a lot better having talked to you." And it was just a matter of putting that down on paper, getting it out of here. Right? We talk about this all the time, people. When you're dealing with the emotional brain, the logical brain isn't engaged. Right? Think about it like a gear on a car. You're in second gear in one of them, and that other gear is just sitting there not moving. And when you take it and go down from emotion to analytical, where you got to either type it or write it or do anything else, it's like throwing a switch. If you know anything, you know what epilepsy is, right? I had a roommate in college that had epilepsy, and he was one of the first people in the country. They did a radical, sort of an experimental kind of surgery with him. And what they did was literally cut his brain in half. Have you ever heard of this? They separate the two halves of the brain, because what happens is signals start firing across, and they make them. So they literally separate the brain, so the two halves are no longer connected in the middle. And he was as normal. He was, almost perfect when he was done. But if you handed him a pen and you put it in his hand, he'd go, we'd go, "What is that, JJ?" And he'd hold it in his hand, and he would go, "It's a pen." When he would take that object from the right side of his body to the left side of his body, it was like there was nothing in the middle. So he would literally, at times, if he couldn't get a word or whatever, he would have to switch it from the right half of his body to the left half of his body, and then boom, right as rain. Well, as crazy as that, kind of thought sounds, the same thing happens when you go like this and pick a pen up and you put it down to the paper. The emotional part of your brain has to shut down, because this is run by the analytical part of your brain. So even if you start to journal about emotions, you are employing the analytical part of your brain to write it down. And so oftentimes, by throwing that switch, it's like my friend JJ taking the pen from his right hand to his left hand. You engage a different part of the brain, and the next thing you know, you're going, "Boy, I feel a lot better now that we talked," right? And you've got the captain sitting there going, "Yep, no problem. Glad I could help," right? never even had to hit the return key. But putting it down on paper, people, I promise, not a bad idea. Cindy Lamb says, "I believe you, Tommy. That's my problem, and why I worry about the next day. I have to remind myself to stop the negative self-talk." You do. You absolutely need to remind yourself that that negative self-talk is always going to drag you down. And if you start feeling like you're having a hard time controlling it, Cindy, do what you have been doing. Reaching out to us has been working for you, right? Not because we're geniuses, but because the geniuses a long time ago figured this out. And all we're doing is parroting the things that have worked before and trying to give you a different vehicle for the exact same journey, so to speak.
I think
if that makes sense.
I think sometimes another part of that would be, when you're taking your drug of choice or whatever, we talk about, like a fake happiness. Yep. Once you quit taking that, your brain starts feeling real emotion, no matter what that emotion is, and it messes with it. It doesn't know how to handle it.
No, it's amplified.
Yeah. And, and we talked about this kind of briefly here, how, your brain has to create new neural pathways. It literally does that biologically. Your brain is damaged. It's diseased. And it has to repair itself. And unfortunately, those pathways grow really, 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 really slow. And that's why, just trying to get that moment of clarity that we talk about all the time. And that's when, it's like me and Tommy both are on Suboxone, and I'm not saying anything about any, if that's right, wrong, or whatever. What I'm saying is that gave me and him both that moment of clarity to where we could actually see what the heck was going on and could make a right decision after that, because we weren't, my brain was not competing with itself. It was doing that. You're like, what in the heck? So when you start feeling real emotion again, real emotion, not fake by a chemical you're putting in your body, you have to relearn what that feels like. And the happiness thing, it's a big thing. It really is.
No question. Sarah Norley says, that's why I have a hard time in the live chat. Writing it down means something. I write my thoughts like notes. You know something, Sarah? I get it. I really do. It reinforces exactly what we're talking about. And it is the reason that you've got to keep putting stuff down in live chat. I know it's a struggle and I know it's tough, but it's where it's where really serious growth takes place, because you start to get that emotional stuff and you start to tie in the analytical mind, and really, really beautiful things happen. And Cemetery 76 said the first 2 to 3 weeks, I was like a dead man walking. So he wasn't sure if he was going to even be able to get up, in the morning. Like he felt like he may expire in the night. That I can say, fortunately, that I never had to detox off of alcohol, but I have seen it so many times that it's astounding, and it's one of the it is really one of the toughest, of all of the detoxes. It really is bad, but we're proud of you, man. Yeah. No mistaking it. Mark, they're not hearing you. I'm seeing I think you're muted. They're typing in the comment section that they are not hearing you. No, hey, are you hearing me? I get a 5x5? Let's see if it's everybody, but sound the foghorn. Nothing. No sound from either of us. Let's see what's happening here, people. Mark is muted. No sound, Mark. Let's see.
It was me, guys. Sorry, I just fixed it.
All right, there we go. There we go.
Sorry, guys. Said all that for nothing.
And I'll tell you something, people. It was like that scene in Forrest Gump where he makes the really long speech while the thing is unplugged.
Oh, that's all I got to say about that.
You said it all, man. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We had a comment from Nearly Homeless that said he kind of likes the way that this is a lot less formal, and there's sort of a give and a take between the people hosting this and the people in the comment section. Nearly Homeless. This works at night a lot different than most channels. It is by design very much like a group therapy session for people who are addicted to drugs, a lot, or have been, a lot like what you would see at an NA or an AA meeting. It's group therapy, right? We've all been in the same boat, hence the whole lifeboat thing. We're all in this boat together. During the day, right, first thing in the morning, you'll see a video that is much more like what you would see on a regular YouTube channel, like anywhere between a 5 to 10 minute, sometimes a 15-minute video on whatever the subject matter has to be. But at night, and twice on Saturday and twice on Sunday, we do a 1-hour live feed where the object is for people to come here and have the opportunity to speak what's going on in their life, not just so that we can answer the questions, so that all of you can answer the questions. Most of the help really comes more from the other crew members, all of you in the live chat, than it does from either myself or Mark. Uh, we joke about it a lot, but I think Mark and I could probably go wah, 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 and do the Charlie Brown's teacher thing for an hour, because it really is mostly about you guys. But yeah, we're pretty happy with the format. There seems to be a lot of good stuff taking place. So we're going to continue to to go as we are. It didn't start out this way, but the first time we went live, we had a mutiny, and the crew demanded that we become a live channel. There was mutiny, I tell you.
Yes, there was. Seventh Son, I'll look into that. There might be a setting we don't have set up. I'll check that out when we get off stream. He says he misses the super chats. I'm not sure if there's a button that needs to be pushed or not.
Oh, you know what? I'll guarantee you that it's missing, and I'll tell you why. Because today, every once in a while, YouTube will need to make an adjustment with something. And what happens is you come in the morning and all of the monetization settings have been turned off. And you have to go back and put in all of your information or do whatever you need to do. And we did that today. But I most assuredly did not go and turn back on the super chat or live chat features on account of the fact that I have really big hands. So
we'll take care of that, though.
Anything electronic.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, though, Seventh. I would never even have noticed,
no,
probably.
Could have been weeks. Could have been weeks. Cindy Lamb says, I can live without alcohol, maybe weed, but don't ask me to quit cigarettes. Oh, my God. Tell you what, we will not ask you to quit cigarettes today.
Today?
So today, you just do what you do. But who knows? Never say never. There could be a time coming down the road. I mean, look at me. I'm officially nicotine free for 5 days, 4.5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm not grumpy about it at all.
Hey, Pamela, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah.
Rick Sanchez, do me a favor, my brother. My email address is CaptainTommyScoville@gmail.com. That is CaptainTommyScoville@gmail.com. It should be in the Dropbox. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. You shoot me an email and we'll see about getting something set up. We do those. We do them pretty regularly, although we haven't done them in a few weeks. The holidays have kind of derailed that. But no, we like doing that. We really do.
We're working on getting Rip on, too. So, yeah, that can happen. It should work out pretty well. It always, those are always good ones, guys, because you're hearing from somebody else. Yeah. Yeah. They really are. Those are the goodbye letters. I'm telling you, those things are powerful. They really are.
That's definitely where we get the biggest response. Very oftentimes, like the inside baseball, but a lot of you have, channels, YouTube channels, and you can do there's analytics down to the umpteenth degree of everything, but you can look and see on what videos somebody decided that, I think I'll subscribe to this channel, and it is a landslide. I mean, when we see the most crew members jumping on board, it is almost always when we do one of those. M. Hunt, hey, it's good to see you, brother. Really happy you're here. Always good to see M. Hunt.
Yep. Good to see you, man.
Oh, my goodness. Rick is a woman. I am so sorry, Rick. See, Rick Sanchez is my spirit animal.
Spirit animal, okay. I got you.
It threw me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, you live and learn. You live and learn. I'll be honest, that's only like the 40th time I've done that in December. So I'm getting better. Well, I'm not, but I might in the new year. I'm usually on construction sites, so everybody smokes. Yeah, sometimes it's hard when you work in places where I've been on jobs where everybody smoked, and it does make it difficult if you're trying to abstain. That's definitely tough.
It is a hard one, guys, too. Anybody that has never smoked, which probably isn't a whole lot of us. I know I haven't, but
Miss V has not.
Miss V hasn't? Okay. So it's something that we can empathize, but we really can't sympathize. And I've heard from so many people that were on, codependent on nicotine and like opiates at the same time, and would feel the exact same way what you're talking about. Because the nicotine is such a hard thing, and it is a hard physical withdrawal. Also, you don't get like, really, really bad like you do when you're coming off of opiates physically, but
Right.
I think the anxiety level probably just goes straight through the roof. I could imagine. When you lean on that crutch for so long, and everybody else you look around is still doing it, it's got to be extremely hard.
Here's the other thing. I think I've said this before, but it's the delivery system is vicious. People, there's a reason that it's harder to get off crack cocaine than it is snorting cocaine. And for those people who have ever kicked heroin, when you kick heroin and you use a needle, on a scale from 1 to 10, it might be an 8 or a 9. When you do it from smoking, it's an 11. There's something they doctors and people in rehab refer to it as a stomach addiction, because you're inhaling all of that in. There's a certain amount of smoke, especially because of the greed thing. You know what I mean? You're going right, like you're getting the last of absolutely everything, and what doesn't get into the lungs ends up in your stomach, and it tends to relax the stomach, right? And do wonderful things from a relaxation standpoint. So as you quit, the stomach goes, oh, we'll just tie you up in knots and make you vomit all day, and maybe you'll feed us. And it's really, really a brutal way to kick. It's the fastest delivery method into the body. Believe it or not, it's faster than even a needle. So cigarettes they're awful. I hate everything if I don't have a cigarette. Sarah.
Yeah. That was cool.
Sarah, I'm laughing with you. I'm not laughing at you. I hate everything when I don't have a cigarette. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Oh, I get it. Mark can attest to this.
Yeah.
People, I did the cessation thing, right? With the vapes, where so you start out with like 50 milligrams of nicotine in your vape pen, and then you go down to like 30, and then you drop from 30 normally to like 15. I skipped the 15 thing because I thought, we were just going to go right by that, and I went down to 5, and then the very last bottle that you get has no nicotine in it. So the idea is to have something to do with your hands, and to and as we've always talked about here, the second element of any addiction is going to be your brain just doing the reward center of your brain going, oh, cool, look, he's smoking and making you feel better. Apparently, it doesn't work the same with nicotine, because Mark has seen me. I go, the hell is this? It just sort of makes you angry. Oh, hot, spicy food. Hey, here on the lifeboat, there's nobody fond of hot and spicy food. That's a joke. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I think somebody, I think it was, T. Prada was saying sugar. Yeah, exactly. It really is.
Oh, sugar is.
We did a show on that. Remember?
Yep.
Sweet.
In fact, I think I keep it. Oh no, I may have moved it. I have the stash here for a long time. Oh, here it is. You know what this is?
Yep. How much is it? A pop can?
Yeah, that is a Coca-Cola right there. That's the amount of sugar, people, in a Coca-Cola right there. That will be a screenshot on 6 different channels tomorrow morning.
I'm will.
Make no mistake. That is a screenshot right there waiting to happen.
Love it.
Oh, trust me. That is a screenshot waiting to happen.
Hey, Kill. Good to see you.
Cemetery 76 says, I am quitting my hot sauces. Hey, you know what? I don't blame you. He says, I can't do the vapes. Gives me phlegm when I normally don't. Yeah, that would do it for me. If, I quit the vape. I really honestly wasn't having a bunch of negative side effects. I just kind of felt like a pretty big hypocrite. That's sort of what has been driving the desire for me to stop doing that. I wasn't really running into to too much of the all of the drawbacks, other than, with what I do, it seems somewhat hypocritical to be vaping. Especially.
Well, come on.
it is what it is.
Uh,
It's nicotine still. It's probably one of those that I don't need to be on anyway. I've been vaping for over 5 years. I can't give up the nicotine, but I'll never smoke again. I hope. No, I have mad faith in you, Alan. You've been really, really working a program. I was bragging about you earlier, actually. And you should know that, as happens so often on the earlier live feed, we had a bunch of people going, "Hey, where's Alan Valentine? We haven't seen him in a long time." I told everybody that I had been in contact with you and that they had nothing to worry about. But I'm glad that you're here, Alan, because there was a few people that were inquiring. It's one of the nice things about the group here. Is that? Yeah. Sorry, people. So, need a screenshot. I'm blind. Oh, there they are. Hold on one moment, people. I gotta blow this up so that I can actually see it. Okay, there we go.
Hey, I'm glad you're here, Kale.
Is that how you say that, Kale?
Kale, I think
welcome aboard.
Kale. Yeah, I'm not. Hopefully, we're not mispronouncing that. I don't like to butcher somebody's name, but yeah.
Hey, thanks. At least you know you're not calling him by the wrong gender. I've been doing that for a minute. You know what I mean? I can't seem to.
Yep. Yeah, I tell you what. You know that's just proof that it takes all of us here, guys. You know, Grant mentioned it to Kale. I tell you what. Let's call you Manson or Marson until we figure that out.
Manson.
Yeah, not Manson. Marson. Sorry, my eyes suck too. Okay.
There you go.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. But yeah, thanks for stopping in. And yeah.
Word of mouth. We love it.
Yep.
Humans, we pay someone for something that is going to kill us. If aliens are real, they must sell tickets to watch Earthlings. That's so funny. I have said for years that, number one, if there are aliens, the only reason that they don't come and visit us is because they've observed us. I'm completely convinced of that. Like they're trying to explain to people up there why that. No, there are animals who live in their houses. They just crap in the corner. These people clean it up, right? Then they go to work, make money, come back so they can feed these animals. Like if you were from outer space, you would swear that cats and dogs ran the planet. And all of these dumb hairless things just go out and earn money to take care of them. There's no doubt in my mind that if there is a higher intelligence out there, they look at us and go, "Oh hell no!" You know, there's no chance we're coming down to this point.
Maybe we're the aliens.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, could be.
Oh goodness, yeah, no, for real. That's yeah. But Badger, thank you for using the word of mouth thing, guys. I mean,
oh yeah, that means the world to us. It really
hey,
does.
Ruth, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks, Swayman. Appreciate you. Back at you.
Well, people, we're going to have, with any luck whatsoever, we're going to have all of the settings back set up the way that they're supposed to. We should be chugging along at a normal cruising speed by tomorrow. I think all things considered, Mark, we got to put back together pretty well, especially since they throw these curveballs without warning. So, but it's people. It's been another great weekend. We did 4 live feeds on the weekend. You know, we always do one at 3:00 on Saturdays and Sundays because there are people in other countries. We actually have a pretty big following in other countries. We've been blessed, but they have a difficult time getting on a live feed often. So we do a second one on the weekends so that they have the opportunity to get on. And Tommy, Kale is Badger Life's friend. Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure exactly who did the invite, but that's awesome. And the more friends, the better.
Yep.
Skipper, we all have vices. Come now, seventh son. I find it very difficult to believe that you have a vice, other than apple cider vinegar, which apparently we all know you've got a problem with. And he put down squirrel for me. Yeah, no, that's a vice. There's no question. Somebody sent me something in the I got an email from somebody that was asking about my address. And in the picture that they were asking about was a silver squirrel about this big. Now, I don't know if whether or not that's actually happening, but they said they were getting it for the desk. And at first I thought, that's just, no, that'll go on the desk. The more I think about that. And hopefully you're paying attention because you see this? Huh? Seventh son, that's for you. I didn't bring them all back, but I did get one moose up there for you. When I get back from my vacation of sorts, I will have all of the mooses back in place. It's about that time of year. Thank God the Vice is not the. See that? That's Stacy's trying to sneak in the word Vegemite, and we've got Flaming Jackson trying to work in Systroming. You people are evil, and you take great pleasure in seeing me in pain. Not sure exactly what that says about the crew of this boat. Once again, I smell mutiny. Yep, you will all pay for this. So I don't remember who I was telling to reach out about the interview. Yes, I do.
Rick. It was Rick
yes,
Sanchez.
Yes, Miss Rick.
Yep.
If do reach out to me. We'd like to get that set up and get you on here. That would be fantastic. So, and anyone else, if you're brand new to the boat, if you're just joining us for the first time and you think, hey, this is kind of neat, do me a favor and shoot an email to myself or to my bobbleheaded partner, Mark. Both of our emails are in the Dropbox, so you can shoot to either one of us. And just tell us a little bit about what it is that's going on in your life. It doesn't need to be excruciating, but we like to at least be able to kind of have a handle so that when we look out and we see somebody discussing something, we can think, oh, that's so-and-so. They struggle with this, or that's so-and-so, 4 years sober off of that. And that's always a cool thing. It makes everything go a little bit smoother. Uh-oh, I saw it. I was waiting to see who would do it. It's Miss Hermit. Was it Captain Clumsy Squirrel? Yeah, it was. It was. I was wondering which one of you was going to do it. Honestly, I thought better of you. I didn't think it was going to be you. Honestly, I thought it would have been Seventh Son or maybe Charlie Mullins. I honestly didn't see that coming from you. But thanks, appreciate that. It was Captain Clumsy Squirrel. I appreciate that.
It's kind of like that.
You freeze 2 or 3 people out for an entire live feed, and you never hear the end of it.
It's kind of like that 80s sitcom, The Greatest American Hero.
Oh, what a great sitcom. For those of you who are not as old as me and my brother here, he was visited by aliens and given a suit like you would get if you were Superman. And he dropped the instructions on the first day.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of like me trying to run a YouTube channel without any instructions.
When he would fly, he couldn't land without falling. That used to crack me up, man. But yeah.
Yeah, that is really funny.
But yeah.
All right, people. We have come to that time. Cats are more intelligent than people, I assume you mean. Of course they are. Take a look at what's going on in this world. Make no mistake, they're the smarter of us. Right? We work while they lay around the house and wait for us to come home and feed them. If they're not smarter, and as you well know, when we come back from vacation, we will be getting an animal for the desk, a live. Mr. Marsan says, fun show. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And we really felt honored to have you here. Mean that from the bottom of our hearts. So stay out of the crow's nest. People, I am right at the top of the hour, so we are going to break this off. You will probably catch me in the morning, but after that, I should be able to do tomorrow nights, but I'm going to be doing it from the other side of the country. So, people, we really do appreciate you guys jumping on the 4 live feeds. I want to thank all the people that got on here for the first time. Do reach out to us if you think of it. It's always nice to get a chance to connect with you one-on-one. I am Captain Tommy Skull, and on the other side of the glass,
Mark Wages.
Alrighty, people. You have a great evening.